Hey guys, this is Norman over with SoundTraxx, and today we're going to talk about one of the most underutilized features of the Tsunami 2, the FlexMap function mapping. So let's get started. With Tsunami 2, we have our FlexMap function mapping. And while I'll typically see this being used to move, let's say 1 or 2, maybe even 3 function buttons around on the function map, it's actually capable of far, far more. So to demonstrate this, I actually went ahead and I grabbed one of my personal models here. So with this, I've actually done some really unique stuff, and we'll have the full function map on screen for this. What I've tried to do here is I've tried to map all of the buttons I would use while I'm running the locomotive onto the 0 through 9. And I've tried to map all of the functions that would be used, let's say when the locomotive is stationary, onto functions 10 through 19. So for instance, I've actually mapped function 8 to be my cylinder cocks on this locomotive. And then function 7 is my blowdown. Whereas let's say with my lighting outputs, I've actually mapped those into the function 10 through 19 range because this is a UK model and they use hand lamps. So they would only actually adjust those when the locomotive is stopped somewhere. So I've mapped those into 10 through 19 because I'm not going to use them as often. So now that we've shown you what's possible with FlexMap, let's show you how to actually use it. So with the FlexMap function map, it's somewhat of an inversion of what you may typically be used to with the legacy NMRA function map, where each CV is a function button and the value determines what effect that is mapped there. With FlexMap, however, each effect has its own CV, and it's the value which determines what function button it's assigned to. So with this method, what we've actually done is the value is actually the function button it is assigned to. So to assign a effect to, let's say, function 3, we would simply set the relevant CV to the value of 3. So we're actually going to take this Athearn Genesis model here as an example. Now, Athearn likes to map things a little bit differently to our own factory default decoders. So let's say we wanted to match those or vice versa. So with the Athearn Genesis models, they have actually mapped the alternate mixer to the function 9 key. However, on our aftermarket decoders, this is the grade crossing horn. So let's just quickly walk through how we would adjust this so that the Athearn model in this case would match the regular Tsunami 2. So with the Athearn default, the alternate mixer is on F9. And you can hear that they actually have that set up to reduce the volume to half. However, if we want to change that to a grade crossing, we're going to need to adjust CV 1.284. Now you might notice this CV has a 1 dot in front of it. That indicates it's in the 1 dot index. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're actually going to need to set CV32 to a value of 1. That puts us in the 1 dot index, at which point now we can set CV284 like a normal CV. And because we want to match the Tsunami 2, where the alternate mixer is not mapped, we're actually going to set this to a value of 255. This will completely remove the alternate mixer from our function map. So if I now press function 9, you can hear there's no change in the volume. That's because our alternate mixer is completely gone from the function map. So what we can now do is we can take our grade crossing effect, which is CV 1.278. Now we've already entered 32 to 1, so this time we only have to enter 278, and because we want to set it to function button 9, we set it to a value of 9. Which I have just done. So if I now press function 9, you can hear the grade crossing sound. But this same basic idea of each effect having a CV and the value in that CV is what determines the function button applies to the entire function map of the Tsunami 2. So you can create wild, weird, and wacky function maps like we saw with My Large Prairie earlier. And in fact, we can actually map more than one function to the same function button, For instance, on our Steam decoders, by default the dynamo and the headlight are actually mapped together on function 0. That's going to be it for this video. If you want information on how we did any of this, be sure to check out our users guides linked below, and make sure to subscribe and like this video and hit that bell icon so you get notified the next time we upload more great tutorials like this.